guys, welcome back to my channel. This is On It On Everything, a place where you can find a little bit of everything. So today we have a good video. I think this is going to be helpful for so many people. We are talking about kitchen essentials and basics. So we're going to get into my pantry, my spice collection, and just talk about some things that I feel like as long as you have these items on hand, you are all set to make it happen with meals. But before we get into all of that, I just want to kind of address a bit of an elephant that's in the room. I mean, you guys been watching my videos now for about a month or so. And you've probably gotten used to seeing one thing, and today you might be seeing something a little bit different. So let's just, talk about it, get it out of the way so we can move on. Guys, yes, so what? It's not a big deal. Guess what I am doing? Yeah, I'm wearing orange lipstick. Sometimes I like to throw some color in there. So now that we have that out of the way, let's get into what you guys need to make it happen when you are cooking. Okay guys, so we're going to take a peek into my pantry, and I'm going to warn you, this is not perfect pantry over here. You guys, I was going to try to make it all fancy and organize stuff by colors and alphabetical, but that's not me. Y'all know I like to keep it real, so I'm gonna just show y'all what we got and we're gonna keep it moving. So this is my pantry, not fancy pantry, but it is mine, and I like to keep everything that I feel like I need on hand. So when I do my grocery shopping, I will come in here and I'll do inventory, and even things that I'm not planning to use immediately, sometimes I'll pick up and buy. I find that every time I go to the grocery store, I probably always pick up peanut butter. I always pick up mayo. I always pick up spaghetti sauce. So sometimes I end up with 12 bottles and jars of spaghetti sauce that I don't even need, but trust me, when I need them, they come in handy. So I have all my salad dressings and my marinades over here. Any canned foods that I do use, I keep here. I actually try to use most fresh ingredients, but as you guys know, even if you're watching this video a year from now, we're in the middle of a pandemic, so you got to have some canned goods on hand. But things that I like to have are my diced tomatoes, different kinds of beans, pastas, gotta have breadcrumbs. Cannot even do it without breadcrumbs. But we're gonna go through and I'll have a list of things to discuss, but I just wanted to give you guys just a quick peek in. You'll also see that I have snacks and crackers and some kitchen tools and things that I'm not using right at this time that's also in here. So now let's take a look at my spice collection, and we will look at we're not gonna go in the fridge, but we're gonna talk about some things that I think you need to keep in the fridge. Okay guys, so here we are in my favorite place in my home, my kitchen. So I want to show you guys my spice collection and how I organize it. They need to be completely redone because I've added so much to my spice collection since I first organized them. We have my spice collection. So I organized these about 3 years ago, and I got these jars from IKEA, and over the years they have grown, but I just want to show you some of the things that I have here that I feel like I reach for a lot. I always am using my cayenne pepper, my chili powder. Tarragon is great for chicken. Anytime you're doing some stews or soups, you're going to want Bailey's. Dill wheat is my favorite thing to pair with salmon. Up here we have more of my ethnic spices, I'll say, so to speak. We got some chipotle and some jerk, turmeric, some cumin, and then some saffron, cinnamon, and curry. All of these things, as you can see, are frequently used. You can tell that I'm getting low on some things. And then up top, it's just a little bit of variety of things. But I'll let you guys know of all these spices that you see, what I feel are must-haves, because I know that just seeing all this is a little bit overwhelming. Okay, so now let's just talk about exactly some of the things that I feel like would be helpful for you to buy. And then I'm just gonna talk a little bit about how you can use those things. So I saw videos like this where people really get extensively into showing you things. And it's like, I feel like as long as you know what the item is that I'm, mentioning, then you know what it looked like. And the most important thing is, how do you use it and how does it best work for you? So as far as like going back to my pantry, I just want to talk about some of the things that I said that were in my pantry that are like really, really important. And one of the first things is that I always have lots of dressings, marinades, and so forth. But of all of those things, you need vinegars. And when I say vinegars, I mean like balsamic, red wine vinegar, rice wine vinegar, and then just white vinegar. So you're like, 4 different types of vinegars. There's 4 different types of vinegars, yes, and they're all used for something differently, but I find myself reaching for them very often. Like if I'm ever making anything that is more of like an Asian flair to it, I'm reaching for my rice wine vinegar. Red wine vinegar goes really good in like Mexican dishes with beans. I like to use red wine vinegar, mix it with a little bit of cumin, and that's really good. Balsamic vinegar, I mean, you guys, balsamic vinaigrette, like that's the basis to so many dressings. You can mix that with a little bit of olive oil, some salt and pepper, and that's a whole salad dressing. That's all you need. Marinades are good for just what they say they are good for. Like if you want to make some chicken breast, throw it on the grill. You want to make some steaks or whatever, you have some marinades, throw it in the marinades. Now, I personally like to make my marinades, but sometimes you need things that are quick. Or even if I do use store-bought marinades, I'm always doctoring them up, and that's okay. Like, don't ever let anybody make you feel discounted because you're doing something semi-homemade. Like, whatever your little flair that you put on it is your little thing that you bring to it. For example, people ask me for recipes, and then I tell them the things that I use, and I know within myself that like, I'm going to tweak it a little bit differently each time so that, it's really hard to just completely duplicate somebody else's recipe. But different types of pastas are good to have on hand because, first of all, everybody knows that you always need to have stuff available to be able to throw some spaghetti together. But right now in my pantry, and I was thinking today, what am I going to cook today? Okay, we have like a half a box of shells that haven't been used, so I can make some stuffed shells or I can make some spaghetti. Angel hair pasta, as long as I have angel hair pasta and my fridge has like butter and I have some lemon, there's some nice pasta that I can toss some chicken or shrimp or salmon into, and that comes together really good. Other things that I have in my pantry that are not the norm, but that work for me having them are different types of grains. I like to keep barley and quinoa. I keep Bulgur Wheat on hand. So what's Bulgur Wheat? If you've ever had falafel or fried kibbeh from a Middle Eastern restaurant, the graininess that comes in those two dishes come from using Bulgur Wheat, usually mashed together with chickpeas. Canned and dry beans of all different sorts, and I always have tons of black beans and chickpeas. Dry and wet sauce packets. So let's talk about that. So this is my little smorgasbord of dry and seasoning packets. I try not to reach for these often, and I try not to reach for these often because they are usually really, really loaded with sodium, and they're not very good for you. But sometimes they really do come in handy just to like season things. So you got taco seasoning. I have never used this, so I don't know why I just don't throw it away. There's some brown gravy. Chili seasonings, good when you want to cheat. Chili seasoning not that hard to make though. My white chicken chili. We also got some guacamole packets down here. And then it's just like a little bit of things that's been left over that I just put in this one container. I usually put a top on it and have it in my pantry. If you guys watched any of my videos, you know that I'm always throwing in some alcohol into my recipes. So I got white wine, and then over here I have some red wine, and this is just a red blend, but I use red blend or a Cabernet Sauvignon often when I'm cooking. And some other things that I have in front of me are, you may not be able to see, but I have like my favorite thing in the world is shallots. So shallots, what's a shallot? I feel like a shallot is like a perfect mix between garlic and an onion. It's got to be in one of those family. It looks like an onion, but when you remove the skin, there's bulbs on it like garlic. And then we have some garlic here and some onion. So I have always on hand all different types of onions, red onions, yellow onions, white onions, and shallots. Also in my fridge, I keep scallions. So like we are never having any onion deficit. Yes, those are essentials because 9 times out of 10, a recipe is gonna call for one of those. And I like to have them on hand. I literally run through onions and garlic. Other things that I like to make sure I have, as far as, we're just gonna go down my list because I can't remember everything on my own. So, okay, so that was kind of talking about my pantry at first. Oh, wet sauces. So wet sauces to me are like I like sweet chili sauce to keep on hand, General Tso sauce. I like to keep teriyaki, barbecue sauce. Those are just things to add flavors to dishes. You can make grilled chicken or you can make grilled teriyaki chicken. You can make, grilled chicken, or then you can throw some barbecue sauce on it. Peanut butter is peanut butter is so necessary for many things. It's for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. It's for peanut butter and celery, but I like to make peanut sauces. So when I want to go a little bit towards Thailand, literally you just put some peanut butter in a pan with some oils and some spices, and boom, you got a peanut sauce. Broths. Keep broths on hand. And I love chicken broth. If you've seen other videos, you guys know I do not like store-bought beef broth. I don't know, it just tastes really weird to me. So whenever I need any beef flavor, I usually pull from my freezer because I usually save the drippings or the liquid from beef dishes that I make. But you can buy store-bought beef broth if that's what you like. That's your business to do. Cooking spray, you need butter, coconut oil, avocado oil, canola oil spray. I'll try to list all these things in a description too, because it's going to be one hefty shopping trip for you, and it's going to be really difficult if you try to write all this down. So in my fridge, there's some veggies that I keep on hand all the time, and I always have squash, zucchini, spinach, celery, carrots, and onions, of course. Squash, zucchini, spinach, celery, carrots. First of all, every recipe pretty much starts off with onions, carrots, and celery. As we know, that's called a mirepoix. And that's the base of like soups, stews, and everything. So if you've ever not stocked properly, went to make a soup, you're like, oh, I need some celery. Oh, I need some carrots. They are super cheap, and just keep them on hand. And then you don't want them to go to waste. You can turn them into snacks for the kids. You can make a carrot cake. I mean, I just like those things anyway. I also always have green beans, and I keep green beans because I'm limited on the type of green veggies that I can eat because of the fact that I take blood thinners, and some green veggies conflict with that. So that's why I always have squash, zucchini, and then another thing I keep is green beans. So the reason why I like to have those is because whenever you're making a meal, you're supposed to have some vegetables. So you pull from those, have those on hand. Every time I go grocery shopping, I buy at least those veggies, and sometimes I throw asparagus or broccoli in. I like to keep fresh herbs on hand, fresh parsley, fresh dill. I don't love cilantro, but sometimes it comes in handy, but definitely fresh rosemary. Like if anytime a recipe calls for rosemary, get rid of the dry and use fresh, and it's gonna definitely change the recipe. It's gonna take it up a notch. You will not be disappointed. There is so much that I don't mean to overwhelm you guys. I'm sorry. And I know that I'm more of an experienced cook, but the thing is that people are always asking me about things that what's some things that I should buy? So I'm trying to deliver that to you all today. Okay, mushrooms, capers. You know, you don't like mushrooms, you don't like mushrooms. You don't use capers, you don't use capers. But I'm going to tell you why capers save the day. All right. So you're trying to come up with something to cook for dinner. You don't know what to cook, but you've got the stock pantry that I told you about. You've got those things on hand. So you're going to go pull some pasta, okay? We haven't gotten to fridge yet as far as dairy and cheeses and so forth. But one thing that you always have to keep on hand is butter. And if you don't, do dairy, you're vegan, vegetarian, whatever, olive oil. So you pour pasta, you pour some olive oil, you pour capers. Make that pasta, toss it up in olive oil, throw some capers on top and some salt and pepper. So simple, it will be like saving your life. And then if you want to get creative, you can throw some shrimp, chicken, whatever, toss it right into the pasta. Boom, you got a whole meal. Countertop are my, I don't know what you call them, flour, cornmeal, sugar. I always have my trusty grits, polenta if you're fancy. They're not just used for breakfast. I make them with dishes all the time. Sometimes I do savory where I'm adding in truffle oil or some cheese or, cream. And that pairs really well with beef dishes like short ribs, paired with polenta grits, whatever you call it. Awesome. And back to my fridge. Mind you, we're not vegan, we're not vegetarian. We eat some of everything. So you're going to look at this list and say, well, what about if you're vegan? I am not vegan. I promise you, if you search YouTube, I know that they have a vegan, pantry checklist or whatever. But I always keep whipping cream, half and half, vanilla almond milk that's unsweetened, eggs, various cheeses. If you open up my fridge right now, there is cheddar, there's mild cheddar, sharp cheddar, Colby Jack Gouda, Swiss Gruyere, disgusting American cheese, and then there's grated Parmesan cheese for spaghetti in that little green container. I keep butter, salted and unsalted. Unsalted butter usually goes in dishes that you are baking. Yeah, so these are like my go-to items. And then to get into spices are tough. I feel like I could do a whole video on spices. But my favorite seasoning that I have in my entire collection is this seasoning. It's called Mike's seasoning. And I found this at a women's expo event here in Michigan. And the owner of the company was present and demonstrated and gave us some taste testing, and I fell in love with this spice. I order it all the time. I know you guys are ordering it now. It used to be my little secret, but I'm here to share. So MikeSeasonings.net is where you can get this. It's like a great seasoning sauce. It doesn't have any MSG in it, and it's also gluten-free. And like I said, these are my main items, my main seasoning. And I also use a lot of garlic powder, onion powder, parsley, pink Himalayan salt. I don't like iodized salt. We use lots of ethnic seasonings as far as like the saffron, and I use tandoori and curry and ginger and jerk seasoning and Chinese 5 spices. So like, I don't know if this video is helping you or overwhelming you, but like I said, all of the things that I feel are essential, I promise to list below. And yeah, so those are really my essentials of things that I like to keep on hand. I am thinking right now, what am I gonna make? Oh, one thing that I didn't tell you guys is that I also keep rice and potatoes. I try to stay away from them, but they're good to have on hand. Like today, I'm gonna make a quiche, and I'm gonna use sweet potatoes, some caramelized onions. I have different cheese in there. I also have goat cheese and feta cheese. I'm gonna throw that right into my quiche. So yeah, so I hope this video was helpful. Please feel free to comment below and let me know if you wanna go deeper into like specifically spices, and we can try to do that. But I hope that this helped you think about some ways where you can build up your pantry, build up your fridge, build up your collection. Thanks for watching.